Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MTG Arena Run, and it's midweek magic. And well, as usual, when we're near the end of a cycle and new sets coming up, we usually when we have a lull period, we get Momir. And what are the new things that we can expect from Momir this time? I think the biggest expectation now would be the Saga creatures. Those are going to be a bit. Those are going to be a few viable hits. Note that a lot of them do go away, so it may. So basically, we are going to get creatures that are somewhat powerful still, but can also disappear as well. So that's going to be an interesting perk. Okay. As said, for those who are new to the Momer gig, usually we don't see people playing at around 1 or 2. Usually, you want to start at 3. 2 is kind of fine. Now, usually what happens is you have to present yourself with a decent enough creature to justify, right? To justify making, because you're basically passing the incentive to your opponent. If you're in this case, because it has built-in menace, I am quite incentivized to start dropping multiple drops here. Fencing Ace would be Fencing Ace is a nice one, but the menace is still a thing. Also, our opponent might not have the double black mana, so reconfigure might not be an option yet. Urza Lord Protector Urza Lord Protector might be an issue though. So what we're looking for is a pretty decent good 3-drop. A1 Live, create a treasure token. Actually something I would consider. Just not now because we do have a menace creature we want to block. I actually don't remember. Warren Soul Trader. Oh, this one's from Modern. The opponent's starting to drop a 4. When it gets a 3/4, whenever a player casts a spell, okay, so this is not happening. They will be able to get lands if they hit us, so that is an issue. Fencing Ace might be one of the first ones to go, but at least we have an outlet for it. The rate is not that great, actually. Pay 1 life sacrifice. Yeah, I'm not Flying Vigilance, other non-token creatures. Unfortunately, all of these are tokens, so this is not. So that part is not going to be relevant. Yeah, it's actually nice that we're getting the kind of slow build up. It's gonna change quickly though when we start getting. Ooh, not good for us. That's gonna lock down quite a bunch of stuff. We will still be able to make blocks as needed. So opponent's probably gonna take out the big tree. We won't know what they're taking out, but yeah, that's kind of a given one. 4, 5 mana. Each creature you control. Oh, so this one can punch through. Note that our opponent can. Well, our opponent hasn't yet gotten any black mana, so they're not. Oh wow, they haven't even drawn any black mana at all, so they're not reconfiguring this anytime soon. Six into. You may pay. Okay, this does nothing. Now I kind of want to swing, but we're actually better off holding back right now. Okay. Also note that the Bells and Lottery is still a thing, so we kind of want to be careful. Nope. Enters tap, but it is still it's still big enough that I'm in. Oh, I forgot to attack with this. We have flying after all. Oops, I keep for. Oops, that was a mistake. We could have swung with that. Opponent's gonna go for their 7. They'll top out at 8. We top out at 9. So that is the advantage of playing later. You kind. Ooh, we're not okay. We're not locked. Ooh, that's really bad here for us. We will need to hit. Is there 7 mana removal spell? I know 6 gives us Marang River Regent. That would be a very good hit. Let's go for a 7. This just costs less. I really am forced to block with this, and we don't have enough tough. Although can't be blocked by more than one creature, so this will be able to eat this. I'm trying to see if there is a way where we got 15 damage on board. We kind of need 5 more. But our opponent, it's not unblockable. It just can't be blocked by more than one creature. Oh, this is bad. And they'll probably start giving up on the smaller creatures just more. This is really bad for us, if I may say so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, my math's wrong. They top out at 7. We top out at 8. We need black mana to start going for this. So our opponent. But we will be able to eat. Well, we will be able to eat the Ancient Gold Dragon. If you have more life at the beginning of each combat. Ugh. Yeah, this is pretty much an auto lose. We won't have. I can pay life to draw cards, but well, okay. At least we do draw that many cards. Yeah, they're not gonna have a lot of flyers. Also, you can only activate once, so the number of cards we drew is kind of irrelevant here. Yeah, and we did not have very good hits. Yeah, we can concede that one. Opponent hit really good stuff near the end. We did not. That's Momir. That's how it goes. And you're gonna have to be okay with this amount of variation. Not everything is gonna go your way. That is just how life goes. Speaking of which, a little bit of story time. But I probably should. No, we'll save the story time for next. Also, you might be wondering, why are we not playing? Playing 1-drops is a bit viable, but it's also a bit of a risk. Reason being that if you play. Okay, so it's a 3/2. So we're hoping for a big enough creature. Okay, so these will trade. So this gets bigger the more we empty. So I might be incentivized to not play, and so I might be incentivized to not play, but like, am I willing to get set back to? It's just set back one turn, so we'll pass. This is super risky. I honestly don't think you should be doing this. It gets flying until end of turn. So at least we're taking one instead of. So that should take care of that. So, okay, we're not get... Though the fact that our opponent now has a... Yeah, this would not... If we had hit a flyer, maybe, but... So, now we're trying to hit our better big drops. Ooh. Yeah, this is a guaranteed 4-5 vigilance. Well, at least we can block it. But now we need an answer for the air. Otherwise, we're just not gonna do it. Discard that many, then draw that many. That doesn't really do much. Like, if this dies, we get to deal. I guess we could have. I guess we could have cycled it a bit so we can deal a lot more damage when this does die. Yeah, we missed an opportunity there, actually. We still have to answer this one. Okay, so it does allow us to target, it just doesn't do anything. X is the mana value of the exile card. So yeah, I still have to hold back a bit because but this does have, yeah, Cemetery Desecrator. Look, yeah, if we don't have an answer for this might be the one thing that kills us. We're hoping to. Usually we find good answers for it near the top end, but things might have changed since then. Okay, thankfully our opponent doesn't have any artifact creatures yet. But we're still taking a beating up top. Yeah, missed the opportunity to deal a lot more damage. So that one's on us. That would save us until our opponent hits removal, so we're still not out of it yet. We can start swinging, I guess. Ooh, this is... Yeah, we're just gonna have to keep pushing. We kind of have, like... I actually like the... Oh, I actually like this one. We're not gonna get any deserts, but we are gonna get quite a bit of card draw. That said, but we're at the point where we can actually just keep taking damage. I might be incentivized to snipe some creatures. One is going for an 8. Nope. The emerge creatures are not great because these are cast triggers. Opponent really should be thinking of blocking. Well, if they have the removal, they have the removal, so I am... And like the crackback would probably kill us anyway. I would still block it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're gonna be perpetually at 8 at this point. So big dino, at least that will stop it. So we will top out at 9. Our opponent has already topped out at 8. They could still hit the flyer. Well, there you go. They hit the flyer. And because of this has flying. So we need to find an answer for this. Yeah, this has hexproof. We're not taking that out. So we're kind of at a chance. Yeah, already not shut. You may untap target creature and gain control. Okay. Okay, so we have a plan now. First, we just take. First, we cross our fingers they don't have removal for the angel. They don't? Yeah, the Myojin are also really bad as well. Oh, what? This isn't Foundations? So what happens is I just basically control this one. Yeah, honestly, they could still kind of survive, but what would happen is I take this, but it basically buys them a... They could have bought one more turn there. It was not dead over for them yet. Actually, remember, when I first got back to Magic, the Bringers were one of the few cards I got. So kind of cathartic to see that it making a comeback here. Anyway, so let's keep going. Still yet to see any of the FF cards. A lot of them are kind of interesting for you, particularly the Saga creatures. I'm also going to be kind of curious how Edge of Eternities is going to affect. Would they have a Momir where they include vehicles? Yeah, we're gonna wait. I usually top, especially if I'm going first, you want to hit 8s. For sure. 7s are fine too, but you definitely want to be hitting 8s. And in that case, that gamble did kind of pay off a bit. Well, whenever you draw... Okay, now drawing a second card is possible. This is horrible. We'll probably still hold on to it because it's still fodder. Yeah, you wanted this a lot later. Oh yeah, Ward was roughly introduced around mid. Oh, now enchantment creatures also. Enchantment creatures also makes Eerie kind of viable as well. kicker, but we at least stop the bleeding for now. Ooh, opponent is now incentivized to like switch. So unless we can answer one of these, we are pretty much giving up. Giving up treasure tokens is not ideal. So most likely what happens is, because this is a combat damage check, we will have to chump block with the ward. Oh, did he skip? No, make a creature now. There's no reason to skip. They did skip combat, so... Ooh, but first strike. Okay, the worst things to have. Let's see, do we hit him big? Okay, big enough. We're hitting relatively vanilla creatures. Our opponent has the best creature right now. Opponent really is now going to be really trying to find a way to generate treasures. And this is combat damage to players, so... Oi, seriously? Indestructible on another target creature? We know where it's going, that's for sure. Now they might... Oh, they're actually going to do that to draw a card. Okay, that's actually an interesting way to do it. Because, yeah, that generates that one. We're still in trouble up top. I'll take that though. So, but this is still a 5/5, so we are going to be taking damage from this. Archvenosaurus. Well, we're not unearthing this, but I definitely appreciate the wipe. It also answered both the token and the indestructible. Opponent now regretting not putting it on a significantly larger creature. I honestly would have just put it here. Okay, so, well, we're not blocking this. So we're now incentivized to just swing with this one, just to force trades. Also, if our opponent swings with that, we just swing back, so they... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A clever thing our opponent could do is also block with Danita. So now I have to decide which one to take out. Honestly, I would... Let's see... Yeah, I would take the Danita out, actually. Because they would have to pay... They would have to pay for this one to be unblockable. I would then just crash with these two. They're forced to block. Also of note is that if things get hairy, I can start spending black mana to shrink their... Well, it's only 1 -1 -1, so it's not gonna be... We're not exactly removing anything at this size. Well, they didn't cast it, so not yet. So it's still a 6/6. They're in fact incentivized to hold this back now. I can also shrink stuff to start drawing cards too, actually. So I actually want to play this one. None of these are legendary. Okay, but there's a risk. Like, they can block one, they can block two. Yeah, it's not enough. I would actually need to. I might have painted myself into a corner with this. Yeah, I made a mistake here. I should have gone. Well, I would not have known I was gonna hit this. If I had known, I probably would have just taken out one of the flyers, gone for the other flyer. But now, yeah, we made a critical mistake there. So there is still a lot of initial strategy in that part there. You're honestly better off just taking out that one creature. Yeah, also the reason we don't take the risk on going extra is because there are a lot of Hydra type creatures. And then he's on a 2/2. Now if they start running into creatures that come with them +1/+1 counters, we are in trouble. I guess not. We start again. Beginning of combat, you may pay 2, so we can actually start playing cheaper creatures and just grow this one. So that is an option. So we need to start. The filer is a bit annoying though. So what I could do is I can pay the 2 for this one just to grow. Just to grow it so I can have something to block with this. So let's see. Oh, on another target creature. Never mind, we're not doing that. Hey, Senjir! So that's good, a classic. We're still gonna be taking a bit from the ground, but I would be happy to get rid of this one up in the air. Oh wow, it's getting worse. They're not falling for this trick. They're gonna bust. Yep, classic creatures are not doing so well. They need removal and fast. You may discard all the hands if you do draw that many. At least we can stop the bleeding here, but we might have to... Oh, we do end up drawing more. Okay, so it really is just some draw as many cards as you have. I kind of misread that, but yep, not winning this one. Ooh, if you're when your opponent just hits the flyers, there's nothing you can really do about it. Not a great streak this past few days. But we'll get there eventually. So it's a question of how long this episode's gonna be. If on a really good day, this episode will already be over by now. As it is, we got one win and like 3. In fairness, one of those losses was self-inflicted. We misplayed the Villas quite a bit. Yeah, the Choco was probably... Also imagine it taking the risk on turn 1 for Ragavan. E2 amplifier is not great, so... Yeah, it's not great, so I actually will skip. So actually, in this case, you might be... Well, there are more haste creatures than raid creatures. Opponent actually... That was a pretty good hit for opponent here. Now we go for it. Okay, Scoot Swarm could start buying us time. We are good. Unfortunately, we're not exactly going to be mutating on top of Scoot Swarm. Learn. This basically is just a draw and discard. You don't exactly... Well, discard and draw. But yeah, we now have a Trampler to worry about. I guess we can block this with this for now. We're still going to be taking 3 damage. Well, 4 damage because this has trample. Top third. Unfortunately, our opponent's tokens fly, so that's a big issue for us. Not getting flying anytime soon. Yeah, we're gonna need to hit something to turn the tables. Otherwise, this is gonna be over quite quickly. Our opponent's also kind of breaking a bit, but it's... Yeah, we don't need to investigate. Actually, I could have swung with this one. Yeah, I should have. But yeah, Hotshot Investigators really help us with. We still need to answer these two though. Oh, seriously, they have the bet. Not an elemental. And it's any target, so we could be close to death. Okay, at least we have a blocker. We're probably gonna... Oh, and our opponent, when they play lands, thankfully they're just down to one more, so they're gonna get at least one more token. And none of these have trample, at least, but it's still an issue. Oh, they either go down to 10, or... Well, 10 or I go up. Oh, it's up to 1, so they can choose not to. That's a But thankfully, we kind of have... We don't have infinite. We don't have infinite blockers. Yeah, we start stabilizing first. And it's each upkeep, so... I still need an answer for this one, though. Ooh, okay, we might stand a chance. Just having, well, not quite infinite blockers, but still annoying enough. Sacrifice a land to draw a card. Okay. They get another token. Yeah, they know I'm just gonna... Well, they are incentivized to start block. That said, I can still lose if I... 14 cards, but... doesn't quite save me if I... 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay, 10 drops. I'm gonna try this, but we probably are gonna end up losing because I. Yep. It was cute, but we. I think we. Oh, I think we actually had enough that we just needed to swing with everything. Okay, I misplayed that one. I think I had more than enough extra damage there. So yeah, we got careless there. We could have just swung with everything. We would have had enough. Man, I'm throwing wins away. Like I have enough. Like I can play forever. Well, I can't. Actually, I'm not so sure. I should have redone the math. I think I had enough creatures. Aw, no. When it's actually holding on 3, they're gonna start at 4. Well, I'm not. Well, I'm not that incentivized to hold that long, so. Yeah, 3 mana, 2/3. Loon Minotaur, anyone? Actually, I should have. Yeah, I really should have done the math there. That last one, I think I would have gotten it quite close. The other trick would have been to just play play your drop first, because you know. Then you can play your land after. Comes to target, freezes in. Okay, there's no. This does face in, face out, but there is no spell, so this will. See what our opponent has. Opponent plays for 50 mana. Let's see what they hit off 5. Okay. That said, it is just an ETB, so not much else after that. Yeah, but I'm not losing 2 creep. By 5. So now we just need to. Okay, this is super risky here. We're going for the win next turn. If our opponent has removal for our one creature, it's over. We're really just hoping to chump block Hamza. I could likewise have held back on this one first to struck with this, but that would have just still put us on a 2-turn comp. This one forces our opponent to have it forces our opponent to have 2 reach creatures. And in the end, with imperfect knowledge, especially with Momir making everything imperfect knowledge, you just have to know if you're going to hit or not. If our opponent goes for a 7-drop, they're less likely to have removals. A lot of the creatures with built-in removal tend to be at 6. They have to drop. Well, honestly, I would have figured out I would have tried to play something anyway. You might have hit the flyer with removal. There are a lot of good 7 hits, but our opponent kind of gave. Well, okay, more gems, can't complain. Let's see if we can get our one more win to close this episode off. Momir is what it is. We cannot complain too much about it. In fact, I guess I could say that this is the first time where half of my losses are self-inflicted. Okay, this is actually gonna be first. Is someone actually gonna play at X1? X1 means somewhat low-powered stakes. Okay, I am not incentivized to take that one, so I will probably do X2 at the very least. Our opponent could just start growing this and start making tokens to go sideways. Not honestly the greatest. What I could see our opponent doing is hitting first and going. Actually, when Concept Tarkir introduced Raid, it did make Momir interesting in that, do you attack first and hope to get the Raid trigger, or do you make your token first, hope to hit the haste creature? One is more prevalent than the other. Also of note that there are X2s that are duds as well. Oh, this is interesting. We're gonna take some damage here, but whenever another creature enters, there's gonna be +1/+1 buffs all around. We're probably not gonna be activating the. Well, yeah, most likely we're not activating it. There are some universes where we might. The Toxic is going to be a bit interesting, but yeah, points. I would have played it out. Sure, we got some really cheap creatures, but I think our opponent's concern was that because they were not able to exert early pressure, it was only a matter of time before they lost the card advantage, which is why I don't normally play that early. Yeah, I guess we can. Let's just do one more, then we'll call this episode. I'm still getting plenty of Still getting plenty of matches in, so not. Yeah, we don't do that same mistake. Now, yeah, dropping a 2 is my absolute threshold on how low I will be willing to go. But if I can push for later, I would, because Yeah, because this is the because Momir is the power fantasy format. You want to, you want to be playing big stuff, and you're sure as heck incentivized that. Three might even be too early. Yeah, if we're both gonna be actually should. Oh, hey, I okay. See the wrench there. Let's see. The daggers there. Ooh, opponent does get some ramp, so that is gonna be a concern. We are incentivized to play a creature here first because we do have an ETB. Hey, it also happens to be an elf. And more importantly, because of that, we get to ramp more. So our opponent can jump to 5, but we can jump to 7. Yep, that's our power fantasy there. Well, our opponent could remove this, and in this case, we're stuck with 5 again, but... Okay. Sure, we'll take the 4. Now that said, there are some dud 7s, so I wouldn't keep my hopes too high. Well, we're not gaining any life. But surgical metamorph, you mean? This spell costs 1 less if you weren't starting. Ooh, I'm actually curious where this one came from. Otherwise, it's still a... Okay, opponent's probably gonna go... Yeah, opponent can't exactly swing. Oh yeah, there's a... Candlestick. Ooh. Yeah, definitely incentivized to swing with food. Opponent could... Oh no. Okay, they just... It makes sense. We did win off the back of their creature. There you go. That's gonna be it for this episode, Momir. We did not see a lot of we did not see any creatures from Final Fantasy here. So that is how Momir is. The card pool is just really deep for what it is. So it's gonna be cute if we could finally see something there. But hey. I guess there could be an argument for maybe culling it, but as the set goes, it's gonna be harder and harder to go into Momir, or rather harder and harder to see specific stuff. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.